This is Sales in 60 Seconds, where I give you quick sales tips in less than a minute. When you are dealing with the customer on the other side, remember that the other person is a human being and they need empathy. But showing empathy does not mean that you have to be emotionally attached with the person. Because if you get too emotionally attached, what will happen is you will be denting your top line. And that is not a responsibility of a good salesperson toward their own organizations. To do balance empathy and emotional detachment so that there is a win-win solution for both of you.
You're listening to the Sales Today podcast, and I'm your host, Fred Copestake. On this podcast, we explore how sales professionals can develop a more modern approach to selling, the application of virtual and hybrid selling techniques, how to create meaningful business relationships, and much more. And welcome to this episode of the Sales Today podcast, where I'm delighted to be joined by Pritha Dubey, who is the managing partner at Success Vitamin. So Pritha, hello, welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much, Fred. Happy to be here.
No, I'm really pleased we've had a chance to talk at last. But before we get into it, Success Vitamin is not a training company, is it?
No, it is not. You've got it right. Most people think that it is a training company because my online presence, especially the social media, makes me, they see me mostly in the training, corporate training workshops and all that. And so that is how people have this perception that it is a training company, while it is not. If you understand the name, if you part it, I know very thoughtfully and passionately, I have given this name Success Vitamin. And as the word says, vitamins, it's more like those supplementary pills that we take for our health. So these are those supplementary pills that I offer, and now these are offered through coaching, mostly through coaching, through consulting. And I also happen to do corporate training, but this is not a training company. This is more of a transformational, you can say a transformational initiative that I have taken into. And so far, it's been going good. People are taking these vitamins very happily. No one is complaining.
They're sweet tasting vitamins. They're ones which we can
Yes, of course. And they are for people's success. So no one is complaining.
No, that sounds brilliant. And you're working in India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka mainly as your target area.
Yes. These are the three regions where I started. Interestingly, I am from India. But I did not start from India when I decided to go on my own. So as all of us are aware, India is a vast country, hugely populated country. So there is no dearth of people like me here as well, who are in this fraternity of learning and development and coaching and consult. There's no dearth of it. So when I decided to enter, I was like, okay, I'm going to get into a red ocean right now if I target India. So what would be a blue ocean for me? And that is how I decided that how about the neighboring countries? How about Bangladesh? How about Sri Lanka? And I'm sure that they would be very welcoming towards me. And they welcomed me with open arms. And these are the two markets from where I started. And now I am in India. So India was my third market where I started. Again, it's being my own country, but I started quite late in India. Mostly it was Bangladesh and Sri Lanka.
How interesting. And so did you lived in India and worked in those markets, or you moved to the market to be closer to the...
Yes, so it's not moving to the market. I'm still living in India. I'm still based out of India, but I keep traveling to these two markets. But I am traveling, you can say 15, 20 days a month. I am in these other two markets.
That's a tough travel schedule. So... So you get very clear about where you want to work, how you want to work, but even to the point that you're quite opinionated, or you're very specific about how you think sales should be. So can you just explain a little bit your opinion on that? How should sales be?
Yep, absolutely. So I think sales is the entire process. I always keep saying that, trust the process. It's a process that we need to follow, and that process is a science. And one needs to very strongly understand this science and follow the science. Then the numbers are automatically going to happen. At the same time, we should not forget that the who we are dealing with on the other side of the table is a human, is an emotional being. So, which also means that these people on the other side, they have emotions. And hence, just following a science and being very hardcore about it and, losing all empathy and making it absolutely transactional is not going to get the success. Being emotionally intelligent is also necessary. So what I therefore do, and when I coach and I mentor people, I try to bring in that, combine the science of selling along with the emotional intelligence, and therefore I call it sales intelligence. So I feel that all salespeople need to have a very high sales intelligence quotient, which basically, in very simple terms, means that you not only understand the science of sales, but you also understand humans, and you also empathize that the other person is a human end of the day.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I mean, I have talked for quite some time about the balancing the IQ and the EQ, if you like. The sciencey bit's the IQ, but the EQ, that emotional intelligence piece is so important, isn't it? And emotional intelligence, people who are strong in this have been shown to generally be more successful in all walks of life. That's right, isn't it?
Absolutely. And what happens when you are also emotionally intelligent in while selling? It's actually an advantage. So while we are all chasing the numbers and the leaders and everyone is chasing in everyday huddles, this is the one question that is being asked. What's the number count today? How much have you closed today? What I also feel is, if that is, even if that's absolutely a wrong way to, first of all, approach a sales focusing on the target. You should not be approaching sales with focusing on the target. Yet, let's say, for example, that is what your approach is. You want to achieve. End of the day, results is everything that everybody is looking for. Your results are going to get very easy if you have the emotional intelligence within you. Because what happens is, I'll give you an example. A simple thing like you're talking to the customer, and the customer says that, I think your competitor has a better product. Or they say that, I think your competitor is better price, or I think they're giving the same thing at a lower price, or something like that. Your emotional intelligence will allow you to genuinely understand what the customer is saying. What is exactly do they mean when they say that? But what happens with all those salespeople who are not so emotionally intelligent? They immediately jump to defending themselves. No, my price is not that. Who said? Have you looked at their profile? Or maybe even because we are taught that, never talk ill about your competitors. So people have learned that. So they will not talk ill about the competitors. Yet you will find them missing the empathy part with the customer. So I may not be saying bad about my competition, but I am not empathizing with you as well. And that is where the customer, that person understands. They understand that you are trying to convince me, you've become all defensive, and you are trying to sell to me now very desperately. Now, two things can happen. Either I may immediately put a shield in front of me, because no one likes to be sold. So I may immediately put a block in front of me, or I may realize that now you're desperate to sell to me. So I may just, suddenly feel more powerful and start to negotiate hard with you. Yeah. So empathizing kind of an approach is not helpful. It's not helpful at all. It rather puts us in more difficult situation, where it becomes even more difficult to get out. And
Yeah.
then we complain that, why is it that the customers are not coming back? I don't know what they're looking for. Or we'll go back and shout, vent out in front of our managers that we have very vanilla products, we're not competitively priced, and we don't have anything to add value. So the blame is with the organization, with the environment, with the market, with the industry. Everybody is to be blamed, except for the fact that I wish I was a bit more empathetic, or I wish I had shown some emotional intelligence in that conversation with the other person, with the human on the other side.
That's so true. The first two things, yeah, I recognize those, where customers just block you. It's like, yeah, you're getting pushy now because you're just going to say harder about how much better, and you're not going to diss the competitors. And then, yeah, you look desperate. So I say it's cool because I probably am going to buy this, but you're needy. So I'm going to.
Yeah.
But that piece you said about going back and it's everybody else's fault, and you start causing ripples and problems back with your colleagues, your boss, the company. I never really thought about it like that to that degree, actually. And it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense.
That's how it happens. And I'll admit that all of us are a work in progress. So even if I'm sitting here and saying this has been an experience that I have also gone through. So when I was in sales, when I had started off, even after 5-6 years of experience, I have faced this. I have done that because I was not mentored. I was not coached by anyone. And the way I was learning was through trial and error. I was just doing some things, and it was, if it would work out, very good. If it won't work out, come back and try to do it better. Or so it was a trial and error method of how I learned how to sell. But over a period of time, when you mature, you acquire a lot more wisdom. You learn, you hire coach for yourself. Then is all the realization, the self-awareness comes. And honestly, with me, once I understood the aspect of emotional intelligence, and it starts with self-awareness, right? Emotional intelligence starts with being aware. So when that happened, and that's the hardest thing to achieve, because the rest, everything else then becomes easy once I become self-aware. Now, as a salesperson, just imagine that salesperson is sitting fully aware of their own emotions, fully aware of their needs, fully aware that this is what I am looking for, and this is how I behave, and this is what the customer said, and this is how I have got affected. Now, the minute I am aware of this, that the minute the customer said your competitor is better than you, there's a shift in my body. I could sense it. That's an aware person's signs. I can sense it. Now, what am I going to do? Now that I know, I am aware that I have sensed it. After that, if I let that sense, go on the other side, and I'm still going to behave in a different way, then it's meaningless. But once I have sensed it, I now know how to manage it, how to control it. Now I know, I'm aware that, okay, I didn't like it, but I need to understand. I cannot let this emotion take control of me. I need to now let this emotion pass and, send it somewhere else, and be open and fully present in this conversation with the person on the other side of the table. And let me try and understand, what is it that they mean that my competitor is better than me? All that could be a good feedback that I can take back to my organization and get better. But if I am not aware, then I am not going to have this thought in my mind. I'm not going to understand what is the client's perspective. And then I may be losing on a lot of opportunity for self-growth, for the growth of my business, for the growth of my organization. Everything is losing out in the entire process.
Yeah, it's so interesting. So when we talk about EQ, emotional intelligence, as you say, it starts with self-awareness and then self-management before we worry about awareness of other people and relationship management. But so much sales training or so much sales focus is on reading the other person, things for the other person, focus on the other person.
Yeah.
And when we're not saying that that's wrong, that is part of it, very much part of it, with EQ, emotional intelligence as a whole. But what you're saying is it begins with yourself. It's the old oxygen mask in the aeroplane thing, isn't it? Put it
Yeah,
on
right.
yourself
Self
first
first. Yeah.
before you can start to help other people. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
and I think
Absolutely.
that's the other big part of your take on sales, isn't it? Which is about
It is.
helping other people, or selling to serve, I think is your expression.
Yes, to sell is to serve. And
Yeah.
that's what I keep saying, that, non-emotionally intelligent or people who are low sales intelligent quotient, they will approach a client with a self-serving interest. They will approach a client with the thought, what's in it for me? So I want to get the maximum share of the pie. Whereas people with a high sales intelligence quotient is always going to approach a sales conversation with this thought that what's in it for you. So that is when someone approaches it with that thought that what's in it for you, the entire conversation shifts. Then I am talking only about you. I am talking how you could be benefited. I'm talking about how you could gain more clients, grow your revenue, reduce cost, whatever is that objective that I have in mind for you. And when that happens, look at the ripple effect, how it works. The customer senses that you are genuinely here to support me, to benefit me. That's what the customer senses. And when they sense it, they also start participating with you in designing the solution. And that is where we then reach that stage where both of us are collaborating to design the right solution. And that is where that is what sales is, where the customer is saying that, okay, let me come and help you, and let us together design the right solution that is going to benefit me. Isn't that like the best place that any salesperson would desire to be or would want to be, where the customer is always saying, let me help you design the solution for me?
Well, I think so. You're preaching to the converted, you know that. Okay, how often do I talk about collaborative selling, collaborative selling? Use skills to think like a partner almost, which is a similar thing that you're saying. It's just we're trying to get the same thing there. So yeah, don't worry, I'm on board with that 100%.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, work with them, don't sell to them. It's just a different angle, isn't it?
Yeah.
What? So, interesting question for you as a coach then. And I guess it's a kind of what if somebody doesn't want to take their vitamins question? What if somebody is like, no, you don't understand selling. I've got a target. I must go to customers and make them buy these things.
It happens. It's not.
It
It's not.
happens. It happens a lot. So
It
what
happens.
do
Yeah.
you do with that?
See, again, if we're talking specifically about coaching, then the process of coaching starts from me evaluating whether I want to take you up as a coach or not. So first it starts from that. So that's a different process, because as a coach, I need to, we all evaluate, we all assess how coachable you are. And it's only then only you will have that privilege to get coached by me. But having said that, this is a very common thing that salespeople say, and I've noticed this, that even if excuse me, someone with 3 to 4 years of experience, even just 3 or 4 years of experience, I have been with those individuals, and they would come and say, oh, you don't know, my market is different, my client is different, my product is very different, and so only I know, so the whole gist of it is that only I am the only person who knows how to sell through this market and this product and this customer. All the things that you are saying could be true in some other planet, but in my planet, this is how it works, and I am the only one who knows. how to operate this and how to run this. So this is a very, very common notion among most salespeople. And that is also the reason why the struggle are so high in salespeople, because this is a fixed mindset, right? This is not a growth mindset. It very clearly, when the minute a salesperson starts thinking that I am irreplaceable, or it's only me, and I am the only one who can handle a client like that, you are stopping yourself from any new learning. You are restricting yourself from any growth that can happen, because then you are basically telling the senior management that you are best in this position. You should not be moved from this position, because if you move away, think about it, you are the only one who knows how to manage this client, manage this market. And if, as a senior manager, I decide to promote you and move you outside of this market, what will happen to this market? This will crash. So I am not going to move you. You stay here only. There's no promotion.
You're unique. You're so special. You're staying there for your whole life.
There. You stay there whole life. We don't want to move you at all. It is not a very helpful thought. It is not a growth-oriented thought. I do face these people. Yes, it takes some time for them, but then we know how to question also, and we know how to enter the mind and tame the mind.
Yeah, no, but it's true. And I was smiling because it's something that I've come across, and something that I'm not sure I actually did very well at one stage of my career, because I tried to save everyone. And I realized I can't. It's silly, really, because what's one of the first things we teach people in a sales program? It's qualification. It's validation. Yeah. It's, are you working with the right kind of opportunity? And we're not doing it ourselves. So you're saying that, and it sounds a little bit arrogant, but it's not. It's just, it's practical, that if somebody is fixed mindset and they cannot be helped, you'll waste so much time and emotional energy, your own emotional energy, which is valuable, doing that for no result. But it might as well be, well, no, move on, because there's other people they can work with and that will benefit and will get great results, and we'll be really happy. So yes,
I'm not saying that right at the start give up on them. I'm not saying there could be a lot of what we need to figure out is, are there any limiting beliefs? If there are limiting beliefs, that can be worked out, and that is what the role of a leader is. That is what the objective of a coach is, to help the person remove the cobwebs from the mind. That's how I feel, that they have certain cobwebs that's clouding their vision, and a coach, a leader's job is to help remove those cobwebs so that they can see with clarity. And that is when then they start taking that action. But before even finding and giving them that chance and figuring out whether it's a limiting belief, whether it is, or it is simply a very, very arrogant, stubborn, fixed mindset sort of a thing. And then only the decision should be taken. But yes, it is better to kind of coach people who are probably ready to shift from that fixed mindset to the growth mindset, who are willing to make that shift. Those who are not, because there are a lot of people who say that that's how I am. How can they talk to me like that's how I am? Now, this is a phrase which I always, kind of I get alerted the minute someone says that's who I am, that's how I am. Now, where is it written that you cannot be changed, or you cannot transform, or it's like they believe it so strongly in their mind that that's how I am is something that cannot be changed at all. And that is a belief which is a very, very harmful belief, actually. That's how I am.
So not even limiting, it's a harmful belief, that you're saying that's who I am, that's me, I'm not going to change.
Yeah. Harmful not to others. See, the organization, if you're working for someone, they won't care. You keep showing that kind of a belief for a longer period, they will just say, okay, tata, goodbye, see you, all the best with your future. But it's harmful for yourself, because what you're doing is you're constantly wearing a sunglass that is blocking your vision. You're not able to see clearly. And it's probably showing you only 2 or 3 colors, and you're not able to see the rainbow. that you can enjoy, and that's not good for you. You're not going to be, end of the day, it's you who is unhappy about the whole thing. I ask people, when you are blaming others, it's all right, you are blaming the society, blaming environment, the office politics, it's okay. You feel like blaming everyone else but you, good. But are they unhappy or are you unhappy?
Mm.
So, it is, even if you scream on top of the rooftop and say that, this organization sucks, they'll just, shrug like that and move on.
Yeah.
But it's you who is going to be constantly feeling unhappy, and it's harmful for you. So that's why I say that stubbornness on any aspect is anyway not good. You need to have the flexibility.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I'm just thinking, just going back to what you said, it's like, not in my industry, not in my. I wish I got paid for every time I'd heard that. Way better paid, but that'd be brilliant. But yeah, stubbornness. But it's so interesting, isn't it, that when you look at top performers, and I'm talking about, let's step out the world of sales. Roger Federer's just retired, hasn't he? How many different disciplines has he learned from? How many coaches has he got? He'll have a hitting coach. He'll have a mindset coach. He'll have a nutritionist. He'll have a strength coach. He'll have so many, and he'll look at other sports. I bet he's looking at, what are they doing in soccer? What are they doing in rugby? What are they doing in hockey? Can I learn from that? Can I make that a little bit better? Casting the net really wide. We can definitely take that.
Yeah, that is you're given a great example, and that's why he's the best, and that's why he's so revered, so respected, so well respected. Imagine, and this is a very great example that happened, that we just witnessed a while back, where in one person's, on a competitor's retirement, the other one is crying. I mean, how many times do we get to see that? Imagine you leaving an industry, or you're leaving, and your competitors, whether internal to the organization or external, they're feeling bad, and they're saying that, I'm going to miss you, buddy. You really gave me a tough challenge, and I really learned a lot from you, and you were like an inspiration. How many are seeing that about us? And I mean,
they enjoy it. Was Rafa, wasn't it? Enjoyed playing, and he made him better. He had to become better to beat him.
Yes.
But the reason why that jumped into my mind, I'm not a massive tennis fan. It is current at the time of recording, but I'd read that when he first started, he actually was a little bit stubborn. He was quite an angry player. He got quite stroppy. He'd have these outbursts.
Yeah.
But has looked at changing that into, he's like almost the epitome of calm now, isn't he? He's this powerful presence, just totally in control. And he wasn't like that at all before.
And that is what when I said that, we are all a work in progress, and that is something, again, comes from self-awareness. It's only a self-aware person can go through a transformation, can accept and acknowledge that I am human, I have emotions, let me be aware of my emotions, and let me then decide how I am going to manage my emotions. Not all you don't have to control your emotions. Like Federer was expressive. He would cry. If he wins, he would cry. If he loses, he would cry. So it is not necessary that you have to control your emotions all the time, but you can manage your emotions. I'm not saying that when you are facing a very, very stubborn or arrogant or extremely aggressive customer, you're not feeling something from inside. You are going to feel. You are also human. You're not some robot sitting in front of the client out there. You are also human. Yes, you will feel like, let me just shut this person once and for all, and then that's probably, you'll get that kind of a feeling. It's all right. It's all right to feel that anger coming in. But what self-awareness does is it makes you be aware that, okay, I'm getting angry now with this person. And so I now need to manage this emotion and try to still understand. Now, does it mean sometimes people misunderstand empathy? And in the process of showing empathy, they kind of forget that I also need to be assertive, because it's not just me giving into everything the client is. See, empathy and emotional attachment are two different things. I can be empathetic towards you, but that does not mean that I have to be emotionally attached with you. Now, that is again where the emotional intelligence comes, where I have the empathy, but I am emotionally detached.
Yeah.
So, which means that I will create value for you for sure by being empathetic. What I'll understand is what is it that you are valuing. So I'll try and create value for you. But when I'm emotionally detached from you, I will also be able to claim value for myself. Otherwise, I'll only keep giving you discounts, take it, offers, take it, freebies, take it. And then my bottom line and top line both are crashing. That is not a smart negotiation. Smart negotiation for a salesperson is where you're able to balance the create value and the claim value aspects. So which basically means in the sales intelligence terms, you are balancing empathy and assertiveness. Both you're able to balance.
There is so much balancing that needs to be done in sales. In fact, we could probably do a podcast just on what are things that need to be balanced in sales. We could list this and this, this and this, this and this, this and this. Yeah. Art and science. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This and this. Oh, yeah, it would be cool. Yeah. Oh, well, I could talk about this for hours, but I do have my eye on the clock, and I can't wind up the podcast without asking you for a 60-second tip. Because you do some wonderful 60-second tips. I love seeing these on LinkedIn. Yes. I think you put them on TikTok as well, correct?
We don't have TikTok here, so I put it up on Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, and obviously on LinkedIn it is there. But we don't have TikTok. We don't have TikTok here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you give me? I'll put you on the spot a little bit. I should have warned you I was going to do this. What was the last one you did? Because I want the clicky finger thing. The people are watching this on YouTube. There's a special clicky finger action, and I love it. Come on, please do that.
I'll do that. I'll do that. So this is Sales in 60 Seconds, where I give you quick sales tips in less than a minute. When you are dealing with the customer on the other side, remember that the other person is a human being and they need empathy. But showing empathy does not mean that you have to be emotionally attached with the person. Because if you get too emotionally attached, what will happen is you will be denting your top line. And that is not a responsibility of a good salesperson toward their own organizations. To do balance empathy and emotional detachment so that there is a win-win solution for both of you.
Oh, perfect. What a pro. That was pretty cool, because I did put you right on the spot there.
Thank you.
So you're doing these regular basis on LinkedIn, correct? So,
yes.
Well, there you go. That's where people need to reach out to you. I think getting some of that stuff on a regular basis, little packaged sales vitamin. Any other places you would like to point people to where they can get more information for you?
Mostly on LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn, because that is a place where you will find most of the resources or whatever I talk, my feelings, my thoughts. I put that's one place where I put all my thoughts and opinions, and all the learnings are there. So that is kind of a resource for me and for the followers that I have. And so it would be lovely to have you also in my LinkedIn network.
Perfect. We'll put a link in the show notes so that people can do that. And if they mention that they heard you on here, that'll be superb.
Sure.
Pritha, thank you so much. I love talking. We could carry on, but it's been really great for you to come along.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and especially because it was my favorite subject. And I just wish that more and more people, all your listeners and viewers, please get sales intelligent when you are dealing with a human on the other side.
Oh yeah, definitely. You've been listening to the Sales Today podcast with me, your host, Fred Copestake. If you like what you've heard, why not subscribe so you know when the latest episodes become available? Take a look at my YouTube channel. All episodes are available there, along with extra material all about modern selling. Connect with me on LinkedIn, where I'll share more information around collaborative selling. All part of my mission around having good people doing good things in a good way.